popularity of the real Ghostbusters, there was a need to create a line of comics set in the universe. Both Marvel and Now would share the rights to this franchise when adapting the show. The most well-known comic to come out of this line was issue 22, which established that Slimer was once a king named Rimless, Slimer spelled backwards. There was also an adaptation of Ghostbusters 2 with the real Ghostbusters designs. Over the years, many different comic book companies would adapt Ghostbusters. None of them are really worth mentioning. Then in 2008, IDW would obtain the rights to the franchise. At first, they did a few one-shot comics and a few miniseries. None of them are really that great. Then in 2011, they created the ongoing series. And boy was it great. Written by Eric Burnham and drawn by Dan Schoenen, the ongoing series would prove to be the best continuation of the franchise. The comics would follow the Ghostbusters after the events of the video game, though it picks and chooses which parts of the game are canon. Unlike many of the older comics, the characters are drawn to look closer to the actors from the movies. In this series, we get to see the Ghostbusters continue to expand their business. Now they have a franchise in Chicago, run by the rookie Ghostbuster. Janine has a boyfriend named Roger, who looks a lot like Egon from the cartoon. Winston was given a girlfriend who he would eventually marry. Ray still has his occult bookstore, and Kylie from Extreme Ghostbusters would serve as his assistant. We get to meet an old friend of Egon's from college, and Walter Peck is still the head of Peacock from the game. The comics are full of Easter eggs. I spent a lot of time trying to catch all of them. They include ghosts from the cartoon to John Candy's version of Louis Tully. It's pretty obvious that these comics were made by fans. That's what makes these comics so much fun to read. They were made by fans for fans. The original characters are still the main focus, yet they were able to include new ones. Some of them include Ron Alexander, who started a rival business called Ghost Smashers, a nod to the suggested title for the first movie. Jenny Moran, who worked for Ron Alexander before joining Peacock, she would become Ray's girlfriend, which makes sense given that her looks are based off of Donna Dixon, Dan Aykroyd's wife. And there's Melanie Ortez, an FBI agent who occasionally helps the Ghostbusters. I actually enjoy these new characters. None of them felt forced, nor does the cast ever feel crowded. The humor feels on par with what you'd expect from Ghostbusters. One of my favorite gags involved Ron Alexander and the rookie Ghostbuster giving a talk at school. One of the kids was being disrespectful. Ron starts to say, "You little," but before he could finish, the teacher warns him to watch his language. So he says children instead of a certain B word. Maybe someday I'll review each of the storylines from this series. For right now, I'm just going to list a few of my favorites. There was the one where the Ghostbusters travel across the U.S. to bust ghosts. The one where they deal with a holiday-themed ghost for different holidays. The one where Janine, Kylie, Melanie, and Ron have to fill in for the OG team. The one where each of the OG members are being interviewed about their first year as Ghostbusters. And of course, the crossovers. Since IDW owned the rights to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Ghostbusters were able to do a crossover with them. This was a fan's dream come true. I mean, who didn't fantasize about that? There was also a fun crossover where the movie Ghostbusters meet their cartoon counterparts. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about the Transformer crossover. Unfortunately, IDW lost the rights to Transformers just before they could collect each comic into a trade paperback. Speaking of which, IDW would lose the rights to Ghostbusters in the year 2020. Yet another reason why that was a bad year. Dark Horse has since picked up the rights and has created their first miniseries. I'm not sure how great the Dark Horse series will be in the future. What I can say is that to me, the IDW comics will always be the definitive comic series for Ghostbusters. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.